rod in. Closed lid. You have an option for 8, 10, or 12 ounces, and of course, your boy does 12. Ta-da! Oh, I got you the wrong book. Let me do it. I can do a switch. There.
You ever listen to CKY? Sup?
Hi, how you doing? My name is Jalen Dalla. I'm a part of a 5-piece melodic death metal / metalcore band based out of Grand Junction, Colorado called Awaiting Eternity. This band, I gotta say it's the best thing that's happened to me. I gotta say it's one of the best things anyway. I wouldn't say the best thing entirely, but definitely, man, it makes me glad to wake up in the morning. But I can tell you this, we've been a band for about 4.5 years now, since March of 2016. We actually met because the original vocalist and the other guitarist who's still in the band and myself all worked at Village Inn here in town. And recently, I had just bought an 8-string, I want to say less than a year ago at that point, probably 10 months ago at that point. And I was talking to Danny is his name. Daniel Lee. We call him Dan. It's okay. We were talking and he was saying, you know what? I want to start a band that does 7 strings and up. Because he was used to doing just bands with 6 strings, as was I. And I was like, let's do it. Let's make a move. Let's make an impact.
Awaiting Eternity started, I think, in 2016 when I was the kitchen manager at Village Inn, and Jalen had started as a busser there. And we kind of worked. I could tell he was definitely like more of a metalhead, just by his look, and we talked a little bit, but not too much really. I heard more about him from his dad. His dad was kind of like, he's a shredding guitar player, and that was kind of what piqued my interest. I knew he could play, and I was kind of playing with some guys, and we had played Mesa and recorded a little bit, but they weren't quite the type of guys I was looking for as far as stylistically, or even just dedication wise. I was kind of disappointed in these guys, and I was kind of like growing dissatisfied with that project. So right when I met Jalen, it was kind of perfect timing to, maybe talk about getting something fresh started. So we kind of talked and kind of agreed to get together. He was kind of already jammed with this guy, Travis, right? That it also played guitar, and he did vocals too. And then I had the drummer from the project I'm referring to agreed to come over and jam with us, and we kind of just got together, and there's another bass player that also worked at Village Inn at the time, was our original bass player before we got Sage. It was kind of like everything kind of just seemed to line up for that jam session to at least get together and see who fit, who didn't, So we got together here at my house, and it sounded really good. We recorded a one-song I had a couple riffs that I think Jalen might have contributed to those riffs as well. But we had just a couple just bare bones ideas, and the singer kind of screamed over it. We were like, wow, it sounds kind of like, music. So
we ended up meeting later that month, later half of the month. Our original vocalist at the time joined us for that practice session, and this is the first time I'd ever played guitar with him. I know we had talked about it at work. We had talked about 8-string guitarists and playing guitar and music at work and stuff like that, but I never actually saw him play, and I never played with him. And that was the first time I've ever played with him, and I will say this with 100% confidence. He knows he is the best damn guitar player I've ever played with. Him and I have an amount of chemistry that is just unmatched. Incredibly unmatched. I mean, hell, we have the same stupid sense of humor. Like, we can make the same jokes and laugh about it for hours. We can play the same riffs at the same exact tempo without even practicing first or warming up. He's just incredible. Great friend, great companion, and just a hell of a musician. I have a lot of respect for him. I really do.
After a while, we kind of decided that we wanted to go with a different direction. We tried adding a clean vocalist, also did keys. He didn't really quite work out. It sounded really good at first, but we wound up just kind of moving in a different direction, going maybe more of a heavier direction. Jalen suggested his friend Bradley, who tried out originally for the band. For several reasons, we went up going with trying to go with this other guy. We came back to Bradley, and Bradley just seemed like a fit. I'm not exactly sure why I didn't think he'd be a fit at first, but he wound up being perfect for us when the time was right, I guess. So
after that, we had gone through a couple lineup changes. We got rid of our initial vocalist about 3-4 months in the band. Not that he was bad, we just were improving a little bit faster, and we wanted somebody who was able to improve with our level as well. A matter of respect. And we didn't want to keep leading him on and keep holding ourselves back when the band's going through all this, and trying to build its foundation up so that way it sounds pretty good. But we ended up having vocalist trials, I want to say June of that year, June of 2016, I believe is when we started looking for vocalists. We went through 13 of them, just here in Grand Junction. 13 vocalists. There's barely even 13 vocalists here in general, let alone people who do for metal. I mean, we got people that were singing James Hetfield, Metallica, yeah, kind of stuff. We had people who were doing opera singing. We had a woman try out and have like raspy Janis Joplin kind of vocals over our stuff. Amidst all of this, I want to say the fourth person we interviewed, the fourth person that came to tryouts was Bradley, our current vocalist.
And then I will leave.
Hey guys, I'm Brad. I'm vocalist of Awaiting Eternity. Been with the band here since I was 18. I'm 22 now, just turned 22. It doesn't feel like I've been in the group this long. It feels like it's been like a couple years, but it's really been a little bit, And I've been playing music with Jalen since we were 15. 7 years doing that, and then Waiting Eternity came along, and been doing vocals now, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, I think. I started when I was about 15. Working with these guys has been nothing but great. Danny's, gorgeous guitar player, just absolutely fluid on the fingers. Jalen is obviously, a powerhouse, and Sage and Taylor are just very wonderful to work with, and be able to have, such a group with this skill level to kind of match your energy and everything is nice. It's really like a dream come true, I talk so much shit and I'm getting fucked. I think the button's different for you and It's the OG.
This is where I give the guys a lot of shit. Because they didn't want to choose him at first. They thought he was too brutal for the metalcore sound. They thought it was too heavy. They thought it was too much.
Bradley was has been Jalen's friend for years before we even had this band was even in existence, and Jalen was kind of a supporter of him joining the band since the start of it. And yeah, we tried him out the second time. We were all pretty much sold on him, and we did some recordings with him.
Now look at him. I'm still laughing. It's pretty great. But, we ended up making the right decision because Bradley, not only one of the best vocalists I've ever seen, but he's also just one of my closest friends. We've been best friends since, I was 16 in high school, 9 years ago. We've been really close friends. And I love the dude to death. He's a giant teddy bear. And he has some of the best power vocals that I've heard in between Salt Lake and Denver. There's not, I don't mean to be biased here. I'm just saying from a talent standpoint, like he's one of the best vocalists we've heard. And the best part is he's a complete idiot, like I am. And so we get along. Danny, Brad, and I are probably some of the biggest idiots. Like, together we make one giant metalhead idiot that is literally so unstoppable. I'm pretty sure we actually make people lose brain cells. And it's fantastic. I love it.
Actually found Sage on bass first. I'm getting out of order here. On Craigslist, because the bass player we had originally wasn't dedicated to just our band. So we found more of like a dedicated bass player in Sage. He was more metal, more of like the look we were going for as well. So he was a perfect fit the first time we tried him out, and he's been with us ever since.
So, I guess background on our bassist. We picked up our bassist in, I believe, April of 2016. I want to say a month and a half or so after we started the band. This is also hilarious, but we found him on Craigslist. We found him on an ad on Craigslist saying, expert bass player.
So I'm a Sage Gentry, bass player for Awaiting Eternity. Now the thing about bass players you have to realize is there's a lot of competition. You always got to be topping yourself, either with your showmanship or your stunts. I believe I have mastered that here, making the best of the hot weather and also the best of my time.
Yes, expert bass player. I cannot make this up. So we were thinking, all right, dude, whatever. Dude shows up, kills it. Right off the bat. He's playing like, Iron Maiden kind of riffs. He's following along with our songs. Like, we gave him a song to play to, and in a week he already knew it and had his own bass parts. And it wasn't just sloppy and put together. It was in time. There was feels good parts. He threw some slap in there a little bit. At least I thought was slap anyway. There's a lot going on. And you know what? We were like, yeah, this guy is an expert guitar player or expert bass player. And ever since then, he's clicked too. He's a smart guy. He has wits about him, an insane amount of wit.
I don't know what they've been saying about me, but you can't believe a word of it.
Oh, dude, Cajun breakfast? Yeah. Why the hell did you use the toilet we're in the room with? It's Cajun
When you
breakfast.
gotta go, you gotta go.
Well, I'm not
using the public.
Just fucking go outside so it doesn't stink up
Danny's
anything.
shit there too.
Okay, well, Danny's not at fault here. Sage is the one who went Cajun breakfast.
Obviously, I've mastered life.
He's made me want to shoot myself a couple times.
But yeah, it's great being in this band with all these cool guys, ones that are actually skilled and not idiots, like Danny and Jalen and Taylor.
But that's half the fun, I guess. We can hop on each other, make stupid jokes all the time, and it's fantastic. But he's been a huge asset to the band. All the good times outweigh the times I wanted to punch him. And it's only because of his dumb jokes. I was just like, dude, we're trying to practice a riff. Why the hell did you have to say that?
Paparazzi. Hold on. I gotta glance at things. Note to young bandsters, organize your merch. It's hell if you don't. Take it from me.
But yeah, I think all of us work great as a unit. We have like the stupid to offset the smart, and yeah, it's going down my sleeve. So it's just a good thing to appreciate, with everybody talking about their various influences and the ideas. I think our writing process is really natural. The way like everyone kind of comes together, they have a few riffs. Here and there, and they kind of just we put it together naturally. We all have a different role that we play. Danny and Jalen do most of the riffs. Taylor will do he writes all of his drum parts. Bradley does all the vocals. I do most of my bass parts, with a bit of input from everybody, and we just kind of work well as a group.
So our drummer Taylor.
After a while, we kind of got dissatisfied with that original drummer as well, and but he was still kind of hanging in there with us. It was like working for the most part in the preliminary stages. We did a couple shows with him, and at one of those, I think it was like our third show or something, second or third show, we opened for Superjoint, Phil Anselmo Superjoint, and or was it Alter Beast?
It was Superjoint.
Was it Superjoint? And this guy Taylor Riley was there, and he had a business card. He seemed really legit, and I guess he was like a local producer that I hadn't heard of yet, but he had a good reputation around town when we checked into him.
He's been in the band, I want to say, probably a year after we formed, in June of 2017. So we picked up a new drummer, Taylor Riley, the badass beast audio producer of the town.
Well, I first heard of Waiting Eternity after I'd gone to a local show at Mesa Theater. Never heard of them before or anything, but I saw them play once. They had all the four members besides myself, but they had a different drummer, and was really impressed because I hadn't seen any metal bands around here for quite a while that I was actually interested in at all. So seeing them was kind of a good surprise. Their drummer, I could tell, was kind of the weak link in the band at the time, it seemed. So when they had told me that they had a recording, and I offered to record them, but they already had one, and I ended up mixing and mastering it for them, the first album that they had, and it all came out really well. And after hearing kind of how the things were with the drummer, I offered to try out and play for him, and I think it went over pretty well. And I had played in a couple other metal bands before, and other bands as well, doing drums, so it was kind of nice getting back into something heavy again, and I could definitely thank all of them for that. Being in the band's definitely good for me, I think. Physically, definitely, and just give me an outlet for getting a little aggression out there and just playing metal again. It's definitely been my thing ever since being in an older band called Exusum and doing some good things with that. And playing with other bands that weren't metal definitely kind of felt a little lacking for my tastes and what I need to do to make me happy, I suppose. So playing aggressive extreme drums like I try to do definitely gets that for me. So what better to play for than Waiting Eternity?
We actually went to him to mix our first album, Soulfire. We went to him we paid him a good sum of money to mix it. Considering we recorded the album in my mom's basement, in the band practice space, we recorded everything, drums included. It did not sound good. We're not audio producers. We're not fantastic engineers. For what it's worth, it was okay, but it wasn't amazing. We gave it to Taylor, and he made it sound amazing for the quality that it was recorded at. We found out he was a metal drummer, and we hopped right on that. We had one practice, and instantly it was like the whole band itself stepped up. And ever since then, he's been our drummer. This band has been fantastic to me, and fantastic, hopefully, to the music scene here. We've tried to bring a lot of love to the music scene, and just a lot of exposure. But hopefully one day we'll make it to the big leagues. Be able to move out, not necessarily move the whole band out of this town, be able to explore the town from the band's perspective, explore the world, tour, see cities, play venues, play stadiums. And above all, play Red Rocks one of these days. But one day it'll happen. That's what we're pushing towards. Every step of the way.
Can't fucking take it anymore.
Don't break it, Brad.
It's hot!
How's my water?
So this time around, start over.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Burn in the sun.
I probably will. I'm pretty white. The pool's starting to get too full. I gotta. Much better. I'm a water guy myself. Used to raft all the time. Hey, the water's spilling out, isn't it?
You know what the best part about after show merch loading is? Nothing. It sucks. Throw it on the ground. Yeah. Stop being an adult. Oh, the whole thing. Brad. You're being a bassist right now.
Hey, I've helped more than the bassist so far.
He's been carrying everything.
What do you? I've carried that, and that. There's a lot there, huh? It could be any one of those things, and I'll tell
There's
you.
a lot more than 5 that's there.
Yeah, you guys help.
Larry David, dude. He's the worst. He didn't hold the door for this lady because she looked too butch. He's like, I thought you'd be offended because you're going to feel like more of a man. And he's also like, he's like, that played a part, and then the distance you're where. He's like, that's the equation I use to not hold the door. It's like the time. He's like the appearance plus distance equals not holding the door.
Ankles all loosened now, right?
Feel loose. China.
There we go.
What if we had to like
Two steps.
What if you had to like stretch your hair? You know, you're like pulling.
Oh, my hair's cramping.
Oh, my hair's not
That's
again.
fucking soft.